And you've had three
Three or
colonoscopies,
four.
and you've had some blood tests,
Blood
and
test.
you've had some stool tests,
Mm-hmm.
and but none of them has really helped your bowel problem. I think it's helped to make sure that you don't have any cancer, perhaps, and
Yes.
other things, but really hasn't helped you.
No.
Can you tell me in a nutshell what tests are you doing right now so that we can better understand your problem?
The only test that you're doing is the one I had today, the X-ray and the balloon.
Right. Tell me about the X-ray test. What was that supposed to help
I
us?
haven't had that one yet.
Right, but you're going to have it. But you took something at home, right? A few days
Oh,
back.
that smart pill or
You swallowed a
yeah,
capsule.
yeah. It's supposed to
Track
track,
through
yeah,
your body,
body.
and then it measures your various parts of your gut, how at what speed things are going through
There
your
you
body.
go.
So
Mm-hmm.
you've taken that capsule, and you're having an X-ray soon. And then you also had 2 or 3 tests today. Tell us what was your experience about those tests.
It was a very first time test. I never had, something unusual.
What was the name of the test? Or was it anorectal manometry?
That's it.
Okay. So tell us your experience about that test.
It was slightly discomfort,
Okay.
but you can bear it
Okay.
to get to the root of it, to what's going on.
And what did my nurse Annie kind of do for you during the test? How did she explain the test? And
She told me step by step what she was doing.
okay, and you were able to follow through everything. And then you had to squeeze, you had to push and bear down,
Yes.
and then she distended a balloon, and then she asked you about how you were sensing this balloon.
Yes.
What kind of sensations did you?
At that time, I felt bloated
Mhm.
and a little like pain.
Okay. At the end, when the balloon was stretched up, you had some pain. Was it similar to what you experienced at home?
Yes,
It was
especially
similar
on the
to what-
same side.
Right.
Mm.
Right. So we did the anorectal manometry, and then what was the next test we did on you?
He
We
did.
did a balloon expulsion test.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Now that went pretty good.
So we put a balloon.
Balloon up me, and
Inside
I
your
had to
body.
sit on the little bedside come over
Huh.
and push like I was having a bowel movement
Right.
and try to push the balloon out.
Were you able to?
Yes, sir. I was.
Okay. You were able to pass it down, and you were given privacy to do that.
Yes.
It was done in privacy. And then you had another test. You had the nerve test also.
Yes.
Right. So you had a nerve test to find out whether the nerves that supply the rectum were working properly or not. And we put a magnet in your back, magnetic coil to stimulate that. Was that okay? The
Yeah, that
test
was fine.
That was fine.
Mhm.
So we had a probe inside your rectum to pick up the nerve activity, and then the magnet stimulated your back nerves, and that was fine. It took about 10 minutes, I think.
Yes.
And then you had an ultrasound
Ultrasound.
test. Yeah. And the ultrasound test, as I explained to you, helps us detect how the muscles right at the opening are working or not working. And one of the reasons we did that for you was, in addition to your gas and bloating and importantly constipation, you said occasionally you have some leakage.
Yeah.
So sometimes what happens is patients have a lot of stool sitting in the rectum and liquid stool seeps around it, or the opening muscle has been damaged because you have children, right? How many children have you
I
had?
have 2 and 1 miscarriage.
Right. And you had some injury during childbirth?
The first one.
Was forceps was used, I think. You remember
Yes.
it? You said
Mhm.
you had stitches and so on. So that may have compromised the opening muscle, may have damaged it a little bit, or the nerves may have been damaged. And that's why we were studying that through that ultrasound test. So in one day you've had comprehensive evaluation. You've had one test to study the speed at which things go through your colon, the colon transit test. Then you had anorectal manometry. Then you had a nerve test, which you call TAMS test. Then you had balloon expulsion test to simulate how you poop at home in the laboratory. And finally, you had the anal ultrasound test, all to better understand your bowel function and thereby come up with a diagnosis.